Yeah, George Mirasan was a beast. All right, let's go on to the next question. So this might be kind of hard for you to do, but outside of this call, are there any particular equipment companies that you admire or you think have a really bright future? You could say somebody that you think might make a big splash in the market in the next 5 years or so. I mean, feel free to mention someone on this call too, but yeah.
Are you saying a new company or just any company?
Take it how you want. Current company or who needs to be on the market, anything like that.
In regards to like a company that I admire is probably the one I can relate the most with, I think, just based off of their history and like me following them as a Laco. I feel like they stay kind of in their own area. They develop products, they make them, and then they sell them. And a lot of other companies, I'm not saying everyone, it's more, okay, I'm grabbing some of this company stuff, marketing it. And I think I relate more to them where it's like, just create something innovative, high quality, market it, and that's it.
Well, from the people on this call, I've grown to respect every single one of you on your own extent. I mean, Steve, you make some of the most beautiful designs in the world. I don't think you're going to be the guy that dies with 1,000 patents, but you'll have 10 that have changed the face of an industry. Mike, what I've always liked about you is you've shown the progression. You haven't strayed away from the trials and tribulations of growing a fitness industry. I've watched you grow in the development stage of all your products. They start off one way and then you show how you improved upon it. And you just, you didn't wait for all the lights to turn green. You ran a couple yellows and started with some reds. And then now you're getting to the point where I see the progression of your products. And I don't think they're ever going to be done. My products are never done. I don't think any of yours are. If you see a way to improve upon it or the process, you do it. Bridge, I hope you make the whole world foldable. Your designs for making some of these things are just incredible. And, and with Jason, I've seen the ability to add, just pulleys and tensioners to things to replace, just dead weight has been a huge, huge missed opportunity within the space for so long. And now ever since your growth, I've seen every company trying to come up with a built-in pulley system on their racks, which are a lot more expensive than your universal option. But I don't know if there's any one large company that I would say is going to be the best and biggest and baddest out there, but I think there's going to be a lot of people like us in the near future that solve solutions and, make the best possible product to solve that one particular problem.
It's interesting. And Patrick, I don't know, like we have some similar, product base, in what we do, building racks or whatever, but it's whenever I talk to somebody about like growth or what we're doing or what our plans are, it's like, oh, well, you could become rogue in 10 years. And it's like always rogue that they think if I was chasing somebody, rogue would be it. Well, and I like to tell them I'm not chasing rogue. That's not ever been the plan, mostly because they sell other people's stuff. And that's just we're not going for volume. We're going to change people's lives, build tools that help people change their own lives, become the best version of themselves. And if I can't do that while putting out a high quality product, like that's what's the point? So I would say that, Sorinex is a company that I've always looked up to. I'm not going to say I look up to everything they've ever done, because if I'm chasing anybody, I'm chasing them down. That's just kind of where we see our trajectory going. But like Ghost Strong Equipment, Steve, is that who you were talking about, by the way? I don't know if I caught who. Yeah, I mean, there's several guys. Dynabody has some innovative equipment out there. The power press, stuff like that. Everybody on this call, I mean, I've talked to everybody except Mike, I think individually at some point or another. It's y'all. I own all y'all stuff. I've installed Patrick's racks at customers' houses. So it's. Yeah, we're really fortunate to be surrounded by such a small circle of people who are really invested in making the best products here, domestically, I guess I should say.
I think that's why I look at the Strength Co. They make cast iron plates that are made in the USA, and Kabuki Strength, same thing. I like that because we actually looked at cast iron plates during the pandemic in 2020, really expensive to get started. So like, I know what it costs for those guys to make it. And it's nice to have like options that aren't just like the stuff that's made overseas. Obviously you're paying a little bit more money, but you are like every part of their process at the Strength Co. is, it's made at a foundry and it's coded here and it's machined here. And we, I appreciate that from a company, obviously, where everyone is constantly telling you, at least to my brand, is that like, why is it so expensive? Not everything has to be the cheapest thing on the planet. They're bucking the trend of like not everything has to be $1 a pound with weight plates. So I think they put out some decent content. They don't have tons and tons of products, but they do a nice job, and it's a very clean appearance. And I think they're a pretty decent company.
I just reached out to them for a quote to replace all my Rogue deep dish, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're too deep. That's
Yeah.
like that's what I wanted, and it was too much. I'm sorry. Like they're too deep. They take up too much room on the pan. They're enormous. They're extremely deep. So that's what you're into, and you want to cook some cornbread on it. You go right ahead. I have a set brand new for sale. If anybody's,
I always found that funny with the whole like, oh, that's too much. And my answer to that is always, or like, that's too expensive. My answer is always like, nicer things cost more.
Sure.
There's a reason why like a Ferrari costs what it costs. It's like the quality. There's quality, so it's like it's reflected in the price.
No,
is anybody in this chat rich yet? I don't. I mean, okay. I was just making sure. Just checking.
No, that's it's also funny that Steve says that, because I always say the same thing. Sometimes people will, I literally got a text message the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. Somebody screenshotted the Scout Hyper, and they said, "Hey, I'm looking for this. Can you make this, or do you have something like this that you can sell, for the buddy discount?" And I kind of laughed, and I'm like, well, first of all, that's a made in overseas, that piece is made overseas, and I think it's like $380. We have a Phoenix GHD Hyper that we're working on, but it's probably going to cost 4 times that. So no, this came from a guy who drives a 911 turbo Porsche and has like a couple other cars, and I'm like, bro, you're literally trying to bust my balls over $385. Like, dude, just order it from them. You know what I mean? Like, don't text me and waste my time on that. And it's just, but at the same time, I have to empathize, that's kind of how society is. It's like they look at price first, and that's one thing that, I don't know, us and our team here at Bridge, like, we're trying to change. Like, we're trying to justify, I guess, if you can call it justifying, some of these prices with like an extraordinary level of service, with an extraordinary level of quality, because there's a reason why Toyota has Lexus, and then, it goes on up. It's like the quality is different, and there are markets of people who value that and are willing to pay for it. And if somebody's just, and this took me a very, very, very long time, and kind of circling back to that regret or thing you knew, when I first started this, a lot of my stuff, I would literally go on Rogue's website, okay, what is Rogue charging? And then I'd be like, all right, I would make my price around that. And then I'm like, damn, I'm cutting my own throat just to make this happen. Luckily, not too long ago, like, we're past that now, but anybody who's starting their businesses, or who might be young in the game, like, try not to focus so much on that price. Focus on, hey, like, what can we do that the bigger guys can't, that is going to be of value to the customer? And sometimes it is services, or it's quality, or it's these little things that might be intangible in a sense, but those things are every bit as important, as the price.
I follow a rule of thumb in product development, because accessories are different than, selling, millions of Nike shoes, where price and aesthetics are the main focus. With the accessory, you're buying this accessory to solve a problem. The main purpose is the function, right? It's function, convenience, durability, price, then aesthetics. You make it functional, you make it convenient to use, you make it strong, and then whatever the price is, then you try to work backwards on the price to see if you could shave a little off to make it more towards the market you're trying to sell. And at the end, whatever you're left with, you try to make it pretty. You put a nice looking logo on it, you round off some corners, and you hope Steve doesn't make a prettier one. But that's great advice. And if somebody's trying to get into this industry, is not to worry about price too much until they get to like the 4th or 5th point.
I like what Patrick said about like, oh, we're buddies. And I've gotten that a lot too. And it's like, well, I'm your buddy, but you're not my buddy. So
support my business.
Right. I was thinking, I haven't heard from you in 3 years. All of a sudden we're friends now,
Yeah, that's the other end of it, man. And I'm like, you got a gym that's decked out full of Rogue stuff, but but we're homies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, it's all good.
I have a question for Patrick around that. Patrick, how long did it take you to get all the Rogue out of your gym?
Oh, honestly, so Funny story. Almost immediately, man. Well, I actually still got some of those Rogue Osso clips or whatever you want to call them. So I guess I'm still not there, but
it's always going to be one little thing.
Yeah, no, I actually took those to my house, and they live on my Phoenix rack outside. So yeah, they
banished them to the outside.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, you know, like we do have some equipment in here that's from other people, but most of it is just like, all right, you know, we're testing how some things work while we're developing ours. By no means copying, because I mean, I think all you guys know we don't do that. So, but this, you know, our warehouse space, it used to be another gym. And just to keep this brief, back in 2015, they invited me to essentially bring some equipment here to have a showroom. And then shortly afterwards, maybe like a month after, they said, hey, we're going out of business, we're closing. So if you know, are interested in taking over this space, and that's essentially how it happened. And they had like quite a bit of Rogue stuff in here, and then it was just essentially all sold, and then we brought all Bridge stuff in here. So, and don't get me wrong, like I think they make great equipment. And then circling back to that question, you know, regarding companies who have bright futures or companies that we look up to, I think, you know, everybody on this chat is doing incredible stuff, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody who's actually creating and making like new things, different things. And companies that aren't in this chat, you know, I think Go Strong has really cool stuff. I think Oak Club up there in Canada has really cool stuff. Their attention to detail is on point. And that's essentially what I respect the most. I'm like, hey, if anybody's going to go out there and really pursue something, because we all know 1,000 people that are like, oh, I got this awesome idea, but hey, do you want to make it? And I'm like, well, it's not that awesome if you're not really trying to pursue it yourself respectfully, you know? So, yeah, I mean, anybody who's doing their own thing, and personally, I think that's super cool because I know firsthand the challenges that come with that. And yeah, it's not easy. So, you know, mad respect to each and every single one of you bros.
Awesome. Patrick, leading us into a good next question. So